Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into what's been happening with ZBCN, the overall sentiment in the crypto space, and why some tokens defy the traditional expectations even during bearish signals like token unlocks or market corrections. The broader crypto market has been showing some exciting signs lately. If you've been paying attention, you'll have noticed some new names climbing into the top 100. That's always a good indication of fresh momentum and investor interest. The content provided in this video's article is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Always conduct your own research before making any investment decisions. Cryptocurrency markets are highly volatile, and you should only invest what you can afford to lose. The views expressed are solely those of the presenter and do not constitute endorsement of any specific asset or project. We are not responsible for any losses you may incur. But before we jump into the nitty-gritty, let's acknowledge what's happening in the traditional markets. The S&P 500 continues to climb. Yes, unbelievably so. It seems like nothing can stop this upward momentum. We're in this strange limbo where traditional markets are breaking records and crypto is trying to find its next narrative. And that brings us to the most important factor in crypto today: community. Projects with strong, dedicated communities often outperform even the most technically sophisticated ones. Dogecoin is the perfect example of that. Despite constant criticism about its lack of real-world utility, Dogecoin remains firmly in the top 10. Why? Because of its community. The same logic can be extended to ZBCN. Even if some critics point out a lack of groundbreaking utility, the fact remains that ZBCN has a passionate, loyal base of supporters. That matters more than most people realize. Now let's take a quick look at the Fear and Greed Index. Currently, it's sitting at 60, which puts us firmly in the greed territory. Yesterday, we were at 63, so we're slightly sliding toward a more neutral sentiment. But this still shows a confident market mood, even with some geopolitical tension and war concerns bubbling up in the background. Markets hate uncertainty, and geopolitical escalations can certainly influence investor sentiment. But the key is to not panic. Like I always say, if I see a deal I like, I buy it. That's it. It's simple. Now, here's a rule to live by in crypto. You don't sell in fear and extreme fear zones. Those are the areas you want to be buying. If you missed buying during those dips, don't worry. There are still good deals out there. But always remember to stick with tokens that have hype, momentum, and the right narratives. Those are the ones that move. The crypto market runs on narratives. Let's not fool ourselves into thinking that the crypto market always rewards utility. That's rarely the case. The biggest returns usually come from tokens that are carried by hype, powerful stories, and social momentum. Utility is a long-term play, and even that needs to be backed by attention and community strength. ZBCN, for example, fits the bill. It's got the attention, it's got people talking, and importantly, it has a pattern of defying expectations. The ZBCN token unlock. Let's now shift focus to one of the most talked about topics surrounding ZBCN recently, the token unlock. For many investors, token unlocks are a red flag. They believe it signals incoming sell pressure, leading to a crash in price. That's a fair concern, but context is everything. Recently on XO, there was a bold post that said, "Today we unlocked 2 billion tokens. The last unlock cut the token loose, expecting more of the same. Looking forward to this week. Let's go." That's not just blind optimism, it's grounded in what happened last time. Last month, ZBCN went from 0.44 done up to 0.71 following a token unlock. That's a staggering 500% increase. Now, the current unlock is expected to take the token from 0.04 to 0.021, according to bullish community forecasts. Historically, ZBCN unlocks don't act as dump catalysts, they act as rally triggers. And I get it. Some of you might still be skeptical. Maybe you've sold your bags during previous unlocks out of fear. But those decisions were likely rooted in traditional logic, which doesn't always apply in crypto. Hype overrides logic here. What happened with ONO? Let me share a similar example. ONO. Back in January 2025, 17% of ONO's supply, worth about $1.35 billion, was unlocked. Everyone expected a bloodbath. Traders panicked. But what actually happened? ONO's price went up. It didn't crash. It started trending upward immediately after the unlock. It's important to note that ONO's eventual correction wasn't because of the unlock. It was because of external macroeconomic factors, specifically Donald Trump's tariffs. That move impacted the entire crypto market, including Bitcoin. On January 31st, Bitcoin plummeted from $105,000 to $91,000 in just a few days. So ONO's drop wasn't about supply, it was about the macro climate. Demand, unlock. And that's the main point here. If demand is strong enough, token unlocks become irrelevant. ZBCN is proving that right now. There is no dump. There is no panic. The price is stable. That tells us the holders aren't letting go. They believe in the long-term picture. Same thing happened with Sweet. Many investors expected a dip during its unlock, but the hype kept it going. The chart kept climbing. So for ZBCN, this stability during a token unlock is not just good, it's incredibly bullish. Current price action and volume. Right now, ZBCN is only down around 15% from its recent highs. For a token coming off a major unlock, that's extremely tame. If I saw volume drop 40 or 50% in a day, that would be concerning. But that's not happening. Volume has remained steady over the last 24 hours. What's missing? Major exchange listings. ZBCN is still not on Binance or Coinbase. Once it lands there, that's likely to unlock another wave of interest, volume, and, yes, hype. And if you look at the charts right now, ZBCN is consolidating. It's trading sideways, which historically is the calm before a breakout. It's creating a staircase-like pattern that often signals a push to the upside. It's worth mentioning that some people are still concerned. But again, if ZBCN was going to crash because of the unlock, it would have done so already. Typically, crypto follows a pattern of buy the rumor, sell the news, or the reverse. If that were happening here, we would have seen the drop by now. Market psychology and why it matters. Psychology drives crypto. Narratives create reality. People feared the unlock would crash the price, but that fear never materialized. Why? Because there's demand and there's belief. The hype is real, and belief is contagious. When enough people are holding and reinforcing the bullish sentiment, that in itself becomes a driving force. As someone who's been in the space long enough to have sold early, panicked during dips, and bought into FUD, I can tell you this. Those who hold through uncertainty are often the ones who make it. You can't time every move, but you can position yourself smartly by recognizing patterns. And ZBCN's current pattern is a very familiar one that often precedes a significant run. What should you do? So what should you do with this information? First, assess your risk tolerance. Don't buy just because someone online is bullish, but also don't sell just because you're afraid of an unlock period. Take a broader view. Look at volume, community activity, social buzz, and of course, price action. Second, look at the macro signals. Bitcoin is stabilizing. Ethereum is showing life. Altcoins are waking up. This is not a market to ignore. We might be early in a broader rally, and ZBCN could ride that wave. Finally, watch ZBCN closely over the next 72 hours. This is the period where breakout patterns typically resolve. Either it confirms strength and breaks upward, or it pulls back slightly before finding a new base. But based on current sentiment and price stability, the bullish case is looking more likely. Final thoughts. The crypto space isn't always logical, but it is cyclical. Hype, fear, FOMO, FUD, they all rotate. But in the end, the projects with strong communities and active engagement tend to rise to the top. ZBCN might not have the utility that some investors demand, but it has what matters in this market: momentum, attention, and belief. That's why I remain bullish. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Are you holding through the unlock? Did you buy the dip? Or are you waiting for a more clear signal before jumping in? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want more updates like this, turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. Until next time, stay smart, stay patient, and stay bullish.